Document.
Excellent.
I highlighted in there. Asking.
Give Mr. Hickey a minute to get back, and then we'll get started. All right, looks like we are all ready. Let's go ahead. Britt, when you're ready, we'll go on the record. Okay, we'll be on the record. This is Mast et al. Versus Brashier. And that's First County Case CV 35-23-195. Parties are present at council table with their attorneys. Mr. Brashier is present as well as Ms. Brashier Mast is present. We are outside the presence of the jury. Council, anything we need to take up very briefly before we return the jury?
Don't believe so,
Okay.
Judge.
Thank you. Please rise for the jury. Thank you. Go ahead and please be seated. Thank you very much. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you had a pleasant evening last night. We are back on the record in this matter. When we left off yesterday evening, the plaintiffs had just finished examining one of their witnesses, and Mr. Miller, Mr. Hickey, you may call your next witness.
Call Robert Mast.
All right. Mr. Mast, if you come forward and face my clerk and be sworn, please.
Do you affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mast. Make sure that microphone is on. It's on. All right. Mr. Mast, if you'll take a moment, get seated, make yourself comfortable. And when you are ready, I'm going to ask you to state and spell your name for the record.
Okay. My name is Robert Mast, spelled R-O-B-E-R-T and M-A-S-T.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, are you able to hear Mr. Mast? Not very well. All right. Mr. Mast, if you'll keep that in mind as you testify. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any trouble hearing, if you would please alert me and my bailiff, and we'll make sure that we have the witness speak up. All right. That being said.
Am I positioned correctly?
You are. That's
okay.
That's fine. Mr. Hickey, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, Robert, this is a beautiful brand new courthouse, and they're still working out some microphone issues and things like that. So as we talked earlier, be sure to speak up. You're kind of soft-spoken so that the jury can hear what you're saying, okay?
I will try my best.
You'll make that deal with me?
Yes.
Robert, why are you here today?
To help vindicate John Mast, who is innocent, my son.
And I want to ask you a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
Well, way back there, 77 years ago, about 35 miles east of Cleveland, Ohio.
So you said 77 years ago, so you're 77 years old.
I am.
And how long did you live in that area?
Northern Ohio and Western Pennsylvania for about 47 years.
And did you have any siblings growing up?
Yes.
We talked some about the Amish community yesterday. Were you raised Amish?
I was raised very Orthodox Amish. In the evolution of our faith, we more or less left the Amish church, but we are devout Christians. We live for our Savior Jesus Christ.
So you were originally raised Amish.
I was.
And then as you went into adulthood and started to have children, you raised your family Amish.
Yes, for some of those years.
Talk a little bit about that. What made you change?
We sought and have carried over much of the Amish tradition. Understand it's a culture and it's a religion. Their rules are mandated. And as we became more aware that it's about relationship to Jesus Christ, we took a different path. But maintaining much of those cultural aspects, like large family, the family is so important to us. And you will find that today. That's what we have lived out. Our family of, there were 11 children born to us. And this family thrives on working together, playing together, hunting together, doing whatever's together. We are so bound together by that. That is the core, Jesus first, but family. And that is the very core. I would like to expound a little bit on the 11 children, and 3 of them have predeceased us. Our oldest.
Let me ask you something about that, Robert.
Yes.
You're married, correct?
Yes.
And what is your wife's name?
Sarah.
Okay, and how long have you been married to Sarah?
56 plus years.
And the two of you had 11 children?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about those children.
Well, our oldest, Linda, was born in 1970. On July 20th of 1984, just a nice little family outing, again, with family and several other families. She drowned in the French Creek River near Meadville, Pennsylvania. Very tragic, very, very tragic. It forever did something to us, but thanks be to our relationship in God, we healed our hearts the best we could, and we believe Linda's in heaven waiting on us. And I'd like to add that John was 3 years old. It affected him deeply. But again, John healed well and became.
Your Honor, he's the father of John.
I'm going to overrule the objection.
As John, as well as all the others, our family, we of course remember, and John also became, and always has been, embraced all the cultural and spiritual values that we espouse.
Tell us about you talked a little bit about John, and we'll talk more about him later, and you talked about Linda. Tell us, you have 9 other children.
Yes, and Matthew, just younger, contracted non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer in 95. 2 years later, he succumbed to that. Again, it's tragedy, but we lean on our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But none of them compared to the trauma of losing our son, John.
Tell me about your grandchildren.
Yes, the other children from the top down, Maureen is not here today. She lives near Kansas City. Then there's Paul. I think the others are all sitting here. Paul, David, Sam, Betty, and then there was John. Then there's Stephen, who testified yesterday also. And it ends up with Katie and Michael. So the youngest being 35, the oldest is not alive here on earth, but 55. And if I could add a little bit on our family, just to give you an example, a little more than 20 years ago, one of our sons had the vision to get into commercial roofing. And there was a time when 5 of my sons, myself, and one son-in-law were all partners in this corporation. Gradually, some of them spun off their own company. But I just wanted to give that as an example of we are family. We are bonded so closely. So it does hurt when sudden tragedy takes one away.
When you started your family, you became an adult, were you still living in Ohio?
Yes.
At some point, you moved to Pennsylvania?
Yes, in 1977, we bought our own small dairy farm. And don't kid yourself, dairy farms are work. If you doubt it, talk to my boys, especially, and even the girls. Work is a part of, it's an honorable part of every day of our life. So 17 years, and then we moved to Northwest Montana.
And why did you make that move?
The short version is simply that God called us to that area. It was a part of our spiritual evolution as well.
And that was Libby, Montana?
Libby, Montana.
Were all of your children still under the age of 18 at that time, still in your household?
No, several of them were older than that. That very fall, soon after we moved there, the first one left the nest, married, which was a Marine.
Was John still in your household then when you?
Oh, yes. John was in our household.
About how old was he? Do you remember when you moved?
I think John was 14. Yes, he was 14 or right close to 14. And he spent another almost 10 years mostly in our house, employed very locally there in Libby.
So now you and Sarah live in southern Idaho, correct?
We do, in the Treasure Valley of Idaho.
And when did you move there?
5 years ago.
And can you tell us why you moved there?
Well, basically, as the family moved out of Libby, which was kind of our hard town to make a living in, we were only about an hour from the Canadian border, and it became kind of an entitlement and retirement town when the jobs left. Basically the sawmill and mine jobs were no longer so available. And so when the last one, that was Stephen and Celeste and their family left, we said, oh, well, we're going to follow. We want to be close to the grandchildren and children. So we moved at that time.
And so some of your children were living in southern Idaho.
Yes. I think 2 of them, Stevens and Michaels, but several more came after us and now live in that area.
Are any of your children married?
Let's see, they're all married now.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you able to tell us the name of the spouse as well?
Yes, Yes, we'll go to Maureen. She's actually a single mother at this time.
Judge, I'm showing his family, and the loss of one of those members of the family is the central crux of this case.
Overrule the objection. You may proceed.
Then there's Paul, living in California with his wife, Lori, and also a large family. We have a total of 30 grandchildren. They're very precious in our sight. There's David and Joanne. There's Samuel and Esther. Boy, I got to go slow. There's Betty and Howard. Then, of course, was John and Becky, Stephen and Celesta, Katie and Matt, Michael and Marilyn.
The 30 grandchildren, are two of those grandchildren Ashira and Zane?
Yes, they are.
Do you currently go to church?
Yes,
And that's there in southern Idaho?
yes, a local church.
What kind of things? You're retired, is that correct?
I am retired.
What do you do with your spare time?
Wow. Well, I'm the farm handyman. I still love to get my hands dirty and mess around with a few animals and whatever it entails. Then there's garden, lawn, and sometimes help my partner, Sarah.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. We were a family of 10. I was number 5, but my mother died when I was 6 weeks old. Dad remarried a couple of years later and had 5 more children. At this point, my 3 eldest siblings are gone. I have a brother, Al, that I'm very close to, lives near Detroit, Michigan, and then there's 5, which in reality are half, but we grew up together. They're our brothers and sisters. They're scattered around some.
So tell me your children that live near you in southern Idaho.
Okay, which ones? Yes. Let's see if I can get this straight. There's David and Joanne, I think, are the oldest of those that live in our immediate area. There's Michael and Marilyn. There's Katie and Matt. And who am I? Stephen and Celeste. Yeah.
And do you see them pretty regularly?
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, yes. When you say I'm a handyman, if they're working locally, you'll see me bringing a 10 o'clock break to them and just having a few minutes. And whatever, if I can do little handyman stuff to help them out. They're very busy, at their specialized work.
Let's talk more about John. Where was John in the ladder?
Mr. Hicks, can I give you just a moment?
Yeah.
Would you mind? Thank you. Perfect, thank you. All right, go ahead, I apologize.
That's fine, Judge. Where was John as far as number on the child list, I guess you'd say, the ladder?
Okay, I think I can safely say he was 8th born, just younger than Betty, just older than Stephen.
What was John like growing up?
John's very nature from the get-go was rather quiet, kind of an introverted, but we loved to hear him because he put thought into whatever subject and had a lot to give to us.
Did you feel like you had a good relationship with John as he was growing up?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A very good relationship. At one point of time, kind of a couple of years before he got married, the son-in-law had a welding and fabrication shop, and I was a helper. I was kind of like their office, doing bookwork and sales. And John came along and worked for us in the welding shop. He thrived. He did very well. He excelled, in putting this machinery together.
Was he always a good worker from what you observed?
Yes. Yes, he was always a good worker.
Did he have was that a drive of his to make sure he was always working?
Oh, yes, he always wanted to be employed, and he always was. Anything from operating a sawmill to being a welder to, and then he worked for a short while. A new business came into town. They were bridge builders. Huge parts for bridges is what they built. He worked there for a while, but the pay wasn't real good. And I think from there they moved to North Dakota.
I may be wrong about this, so tell me, but did he ever work or did he ever volunteer with the fire department?
Oh, yes.
And was that in Libby?
Yes, it was 10 miles south of Libby. We lived kind of in the base of the mountains, and our family became instrumental in starting a fire service area. And so to get started, the newly elected chief looked at me and said, "Boy, your boys need to come in," and they did. John became a captain in that fire department. I served on the board, etc. So, and there were others of our children. David was a captain. I'm going to miss somebody, but several of them.
You said the boys. Do you not have a girl that spent some time in the fire department?
Yes,
And who would that be?
yay. Katie. Katie desperately wanted to become a part of our fire department. And she served there very well and always was learning and getting more into it, including EMT. From there, she moved just 1 hour east of us, almost like a suburb of Kalispell, Montana, which was all volunteer at the time, but soon the volunteer chief left and they selected her.
His mic is off there.
Touch the side of your, just off the ring, the outer ring, tell transparent. Touch one of the microphones. There you go, right there. Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, whoever said that.
Thank you.
So she became chief?
She became chief and within a year, paid chief. So that was her career for a while. They had a lot of emergency vehicle accidents. They ran 2 or 3 ambulances as well, covering a large service area. And of course, wildland fires. That became kind of her specialty for that matter.
As John became an adult, and as you said earlier, left the nest, like your other children, did you stay close to him?
Yes, the best we could. Yeah, it wasn't that long, of course. They left town.
Who's they?
Pardon?
Who is they?
John and Becky.
So do you remember about how old John was when he married Becky?
I think 20.
Your best estimate.
Yeah, around 23.
Do you remember about what year that was?
Yeah, 2012.
Okay.
I think it was 2011 or 12.
So they left Libby around that time?
Yes.
And where did they go?
They went to Willison, North Dakota.
And how far away was that?
500 miles. Yes, I think 500 or maybe 600. Yeah, 600 miles. Just across the border, the Montana border.
Were you able to stay in connection with John after they moved?
Oh, yes. Yes, we stayed connected you know, we tried to have a family reunion, being that we got scattered. Some other occasions, like holidays.
Mr. Can I get you to hold on just one second?
Certainly.
And of course, phone calls.
Hold on just a second.
Mr. Mast, listen. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can move the.
Judge, I'll do whatever we need
We're
to
gonna,
do.
we're gonna move the podium up just a touch,
Okay.
just to. Like I said, it's alleged to have wheels on it.
I'm thinking, how many lawyers does it take?
There's a joke there, trust me, something.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. You may inquire. I
Thank you,
apologize.
Judge. Can the jury still hear me okay? Okay. Trying to remember where we were, Robert. They had moved to North Dakota and you said you had kept in contact with him.
Yes, and especially with phone, of course.
What did John do for a living?
North Dakota, I believe he got hired at a lumber mill, but immediately left when Brashier, he had applied at Brashier. This is a large, I think, franchise. They have, they cover a lot of areas regionally anyway. And they immediately hired him as a delivery person. This Brashier was welding accessories, gases, etc., but whatever. And he covered quite an area, usually home and evening, but I think one day per week required overnight in another town.
And eventually John and Rebecca had 2 children, is that correct?
Yes, they did.
And their names are?
Ashira is now 13, and Zane will have his 12th birthday in another week.
And did you ever see John interact with his children?
Yes, I did. Of course, there weren't a whole lot of them, but I did see him interact with the children.
Where and when? Tell us a little bit about that.
I remember specifically in his home in North Dakota. I remember specifically at a yearly family reunion in our yard and home in Libby.
Have you ever interacted with Ashira and Zane directly?
Yes,
And obviously that's been several years ago, correct?
yes.
Let me ask you about your last interaction with Ashira and Zane.
Yes, not a happy occasion. Because of course, as our grandchildren, we always had just good vibes together when we did meet. But, and I wanted to ask my wife, I'm quite sure, just to verify, that there were twice that we attended one of those paid visitations
Here in Lewiston?
in Clarkston, right nearby.
Okay.
And as we didn't go to the office, we went to the park, the outdoor park. It was summertime. As we parked and walked in, expecting to greet our grandchildren, one of them and then the other one had the exact same words. "No, don't touch," Mommy said. So we couldn't touch, but we sat alongside as good we could and made the best of it. But it did break our hearts because we had always had good with them.
So prior to that and prior to the supervised visitations, there were times that you would see Ashira and Zane with John.
Yes, prior to the saga that started in 17.
And you said those were happy occasions.
Nothing but happy.
And you would watch John interact with them?
I did. I remember observing him. His kind, gentle nature came forth. He was very exceptionally gentle with any admonishment, when, little kids, they might get into a little fracas with their cousins or whatever. And I remember seeing that, yeah.
Did he seem attentive to his children?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, very much. He was always not inattentive when they were, the family was there with the children.
From what you observed of Ashira and Zane, did they seem, what did you observe about them as far as their interactions with their father? Did they seem receptive to him?
Oh, my goodness, very much. They loved him dearly. Anybody observing would have noticed that. They were attached to him.
Did you feel like that John and Ashira and Zane were bonded?
Very much.
You said you went to 2 of the supervised visitations with John.
Yes.
Was that at his request?
Yes, he asked us. He invited us.
Did he invite other family members as well?
Yes, I know he did, and I wouldn't be able to remember all the details, but he definitely did.
Did you know why he was doing that?
I can't give a full comprehensive reason, but I do believe that he felt he needed support. That's about the best that I could frame it.
Whenever you were with Ashira and Zane, did you ever feel like they were afraid of their dad, John?
Nothing could be further from the truth. They loved their daddy. There was no fear, nothing of that.
You understand there have been allegations that John abused Ashira and Zane.
Yes, I certainly am.
Did you ever see John physically abuse his children?
No,
Did you ever see John verbally abuse his children?
no,
Did you ever see John emotionally abuse his children?
no.
Did you ever see John have to discipline his children?
Yes, I did.
And what did you observe?
Just gentle admonition and, showing them and telling them the right way to do.
You're aware of the allegations that the Brashiers have made that John physically and sexually abused his children.
Yes.
To your knowledge, how long did those allegations go on before John's death?
Well, toward his children, those allegations started in early 2000, early 18, the best of my recollection.
Did you ever talk with John about those allegations?
I did, but not a whole lot because John felt so bad. And gradually I understood. He just didn't want to burden his parents. But I told him, John, we're here for you. We knew they were bogus because we knew that is not who John was.
Did you see those allegations take a toll on him?
Yes.
What did you observe?
Well, it weighed him down. When false sexual allegations come, John told me to the effect of the words that I'm marked. It's a stigma that is horrible. But he felt he was marked, like I'm treated as guilty. And so he did the utmost to be clear of those false allegations.
how do you know that he did not sexually or physically abuse his children?
I didn't live with John and with his children at the time, but I knew John's character. I just, there's no way I could believe that. I don't think he could have lived with himself without coming clean. And there's just no way that I can believe that. I understand that as a parent, we don't want to believe that. But listen, this is not who John was, ever.
Were you with him along the way as he tried to do everything he could to fight those allegations?
Yes.
Do you feel like he was doing everything he could
Oh, yes.
to prove his innocence?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I attended the court processes, etc.
He made himself an open book to law
Yes, he did.
enforcement,
Absolutely did.
to the courts.
Yes. And certainly to the investigator.
Robert, I want to move to February 5, 2021. Where were you the morning of that day?
I was at home in my house.
And that's in southern Idaho?
Yes.
At some point that day, did you come up to Lewiston?
Yes.
Tell the jury what caused you to come to Lewiston.
One of my other sons, Stephen, was in our new home. We had just moved into the new home in November, and there were still details. If I remember right, Stephen was working on siding the garage. And around close to lunchtime, I became aware that he had a message from John. And I was also dealing with the plumber in the house, but I excused myself and we moved to, I think, the bedroom, and I asked Stephen, what's going on? Excuse me. And he said, I got a message from John that he's actually going to get visitation. Now, we had known that because it had been decided and the final opinion the judge rendered in December previous. And Stephen asked me, what should I do? And I said, Stephen, you need to go. Just to be there to help John on this first occasion when he would have visitation for the weekend. And I know he was considering what I said and what, his own schedule. But soon he wrapped up real quick and left the house. And I think he headed soon to Lewiston to be there. So we're going on with life that afternoon. I don't have any special significance until I'm sorry, but this is something that will never go away. A few minutes, or right around 6 o'clock, Sarah's phone rang, and the pictures indelibly impressed upon my mind. I heard her raise her voice, and I quickly walked over and Betty was on the phone saying, Jim shot John. She was able to say, I love you, John. And then I did too, but Betty had to take the phone away. There was so much happening. And we looked at each other and hoping and praying that it wouldn't cost his life, not knowing any details. We looked at each other and started grabbing a few clothing items. And 17 minutes later, we hit the road. About an hour later, and it was getting dark. It was dark by then. And we were being careful with our driving and just calling out to God to help us. But we pulled over about an hour later and realizing we were going to be going through an area with no cell service. But just then we learned that John was no longer with us. And so we did the best we could. We knew that Stephen and Betty were in Lewiston and they needed us. We arrived somewhere either a little before midnight or after. And maybe Betty walked out to the car, but I remember Stephen, I thought he might be in some shock. And we just kind of hung together and embraced and started on a different journey.
After you got that phone call, Robert, and you headed to Lewiston, what were your thoughts? What were your emotions?
It's hard to describe. Shock, initial anger. I'll just confess that, anger. And I think I have expressed to Jim, I had such divine, direct intervention that I was able to forgive Jim and even love, to the point that my prayer is that they would not believe the lies. Just in love, caring about their spirit, their soul, the forever thing that we carry. I think, if I might add, I embarked on the healing journey. I had served as a chaplain, and one of my instructions, rather taught, help teach other people how to heal spiritual wounds. And so I did a little outside counseling, but mostly seeking to apply those very principles that I had been taught when I served our local hospital.
In the days, weeks, months after John's death, what did you experience emotionally?
Yeah, just an emotional roller coaster. I will just confess. Just missing John and realizing the unfairness And as a Christian believer, we have to adjust because life isn't necessarily fair. But yes, an emotional roller coaster. And really being there for my children as a father. Somehow helping them navigate these waters, this traumatic occurrence. That one thing that involved was we soon agreed, and we had a weekly meeting by phone. There was another term I wanted, but we would all get on and just share our hearts with each other to encourage each other.
Are you talking about Zoom, like a video, or was it a phone call?
I'm trying to remember. That went on for quite a while. Yeah, I think it was Zoom. Yeah. See, we also did that after we started a foundation. A lot of Zoom meetings and calls.
But you started doing that with your children after John's death
Yes, we did.
every week?
Every week, one evening. Yeah.
And what would you all talk about?
Anything that people had on their hearts. And of course, the subject of John, where do we go to now? What are we doing, you know? We knew there was sometime a trial coming up and just all kinds of details. Sometimes just needing to talk about our everyday life, of course.
When you say a trial coming up, you mean James Brashier's criminal trial?
Yes.
Where are you? It's been 4.5 years since John was killed. Where are you today, emotionally and mentally, with that?
I get the biggest comfort to me is John left evidence he kept faith in God. You understand, faith in God, there's nothing more important. And so that realization has been the biggest help to me. Where life has settled down more, the adjustments are always ongoing somewhat. That's maybe about all I can tell you, you know. It'll come back the moment and the suddenness and the brutality. It's all there. God helps us to heal, but we'll still have that, maybe it's a spiritual scar, you know, that this is what happened. So that's probably the best explanation I have.
May I have 1 second, Judge?
You may.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Thank you very much. Mr. Brashier, cross-examination.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Brashier, Mast, cross-examination.
You said you were here to vindicate your son, John Mast.
Yes, I did.
I thought this trial was about the wrongful death, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Is that not the case?
Yes, I did.
Did you live in Libby, Montana from 2012 to 2017?
I did.
Did you see the children from 2017 to 2025?
Yes.
How often?
Well, most of our children were local, so we seen them a lot. But
No, the grandchildren.
the grandchildren?
It's the grandchildren.
Yes, again, the local grandchildren we've seen a lot on a regular
How
basis.
about ACM and ZCM, Shira and Zane?
Yes, not very often.
Did you see the grandchildren? Did John Mast, Rebecca Brashier, myself, and Shira and Zane Mast live in Williston, North Dakota from 2017 or 2012 to 2017?
Yes,
You claim that the children said, "Mommy said no touch." Could it have been from mommy having had the good touch, bad touch talk recently? Is that possible?
Objection, that calls for speculation as to what the mother may have told the children or talked with them about.
I'm going to overrule the objection. I think it allows, the question is it possible? I'll allow him to answer the question. Go ahead.
can you restate the question?
Yes, I can. You claim that the children said mommy said no touch. Could it have been from mommy having had the good touch, bad touch recently?
Considering the situation that we were disbarred from any activity with the grandchildren, I doubt it very much.
Okay. Did Williams County Social Services stop your phone calls due to inappropriate conversations with the children at one point?
Again, if you'll please repeat it slowly, I want to get it
Yes.
right.
Did Williams County Social Services stop your phone calls due to inappropriate conversations with the children at one point?
Your Honor, that's calling for hearsay information. If there's a call or a communication from this agency to Mr. Mast, or a directive from them, that's going to be hearsay.
I'm going to sustain the objection. I'm going to allow you to rephrase the question if you'd like.
Was I a part of Williams County Social Services stopping your phone calls due to inappropriate conversations with the children?
That I had inappropriate conversations with
Yes.
children? I am vague on that. I know that they helped us try to have phone conversations, and the children almost wouldn't talk because you were coaching them in back of them.
That was not the question, though. Was I part of Williams County Social Services stopping your phone calls due to inappropriate conversations with the children? Yes or no?
They did not inform me, so I can't say yes.
Sherry Stevens, did Sherry Stevens reach out to you about
I
that?
reached out to her.
Okay. And did she inform you that those conversations were to stop?
Objection, that calls for direct hearsay.
I'm going to overrule the objection, allow you to, and I think I heard you say no. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. How often did you visit the children from 2012 to 2017?
How often did I visit the children?
Shira and Zane Mast from 2012 to 2017.
There may have been up to 3, maybe 4 visits.
Okay. On one of those visits, did you meet John at a train station? Did you arrive at the train station and did John pick you up?
I do believe so, but I can't actually recount the incident.
Okay. You believe statements were made by my dad that lead you to believe I knew about the killing, correct?
Can you rephrase that
Yes.
carefully?
Do you believe statements were made by my dad that lead you to believe I knew about the killing? Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you there?
No.
Was anyone you know there to hear those supposed statements?
No.
Have you participated in documentaries which pose me as a killer?
Objection.
I'm going to sustain that objection.
Isn't that the very definition of false allegations if it turns out to not be true?
Same objection.
Sustained.
Have you talked to anyone about your beliefs that I participated in killing?
We have talked as a family about that, yes.
Have you talked to people outside of your family about that?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
No further questions.
Mr. Hickey, any redirect?
I do, Judge, thank you. Robert, were there allegations against you and your wife Sarah that you or Sarah had abused Ashara or Zane?
Not to my knowledge.
Then do you know why Rebecca would need to have a good touch, bad touch conversation with them about you and Sarah?
I could not understand why she would.
I don't either.
Oh, I've got it. Thank you. Mr. Brashier, any recross?
No, sir.
Ms. Brashier, Mast, any recross?
Yes, Your Honor.
During my cross-examination, did I ever say it was about you, Mr. Mast? The good talk, bad touch.
No, you didn't, but the inference is there.
No further questions.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Mast, you may step down. Thank you. And Mr. Miller, Mr. Hickey, you may call your next witness.
All right, can we check the hall for just?
You may.
We will.
Call Ashlin Weza.
Ms. Ways, if you face my clerk and be sworn.
Do you affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ways, if you please take a seat. Please make yourself comfortable. We've got a new courtroom here, and so the acoustics are a little tricky, and so if you could keep that in mind, if you can speak out so that the jury can hear you okay, I appreciate that. If you'd state and spell your name for the record, please.
Ashlin, Ashlynn, Weza, Weza.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, are you able to hear her okay? All right, thank you.
A little higher, Judge. I think, Ashlin, if you can speak just a little higher, I think we have a couple of jurors. It's hard to hear in here, okay?
Okay.
It's not you. We're talking to every witness about this, okay?
Right. Mr. Hickey, you may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Ashlin, do you reside here in the Lewiston area?
I live in Clarkston, yes.
How long have you lived in this area?
39 years.
And do you know John Mast?
Yes, I did.
How did you, or did you know Rebecca Brashier?
Yes, I did.
How did you come to know both of them?
Through doing supervised visitations through my facility.
Okay, and what was the name of your facility?
Dynamic Family Connections.
And what was Dynamic Family Connections?
We provided family time for children and their parents, whether it was like through the state or through custody cases.
And when you say family time, we've used the phrase supervised visitation. Is that pretty much what you were doing?
Yes.
And did you actually own that company?
Yes, I did.
And how long did you have it?
6 years.
And how long did you work there total?
6 years.
And how long had you been supervising visitation prior to that time?
Yeah, I have 13 years of experience doing supervised visitations.
Do you have an idea of how many supervised visitations you supervised in your career?
Oh, hundreds probably.
All right. Can you tell us about when John started having supervised visitations at your facility?
Our very first visitation that we had was May 24th of 2019.
And do you know about for how long you supervised visitations for John?
Until 2021, like, it was kind of off and on for a while.
And it was for well over a year, year and a half, is that correct?
Yeah.
When you start visitations with a parent, what do you do? How do you get them acquainted? How do you do intake with them into your facility? What do you do?
So usually they'll come in like the day before or a couple days before, and I go over intake paperwork that just asks a lot about demographics, and then it asks what they would like to, how they would like to see visits go, and just kind of, they kind of tell me a bit about where they're at and what has brought them there.
And do you get that kind of information from both parents?
Yes.
So you got information from Rebecca as well during part of that process?
Yes, I did.
Did you have an understanding of why John was having to have supervised visitation?
Yes, I did.
And what was your understanding?
My understanding was that they were pending divorce and that John had been alleged of sexual assault to the children, and that he needed to be 100% supervised with them.
Had you, in your experience prior to that, ever dealt with parents in your facility that had similar allegations?
Yes, I have.
Was that a regular occurrence?
Fairly, yes.
Tell us about your first interaction with John. What were your general impressions of him?
When he first came in, he was very polite. He sat down, answered all my questions. He kind of told me a bit about where he stood with having to do visitations, and just kind of, he was very mellow, soft-spoken.
Did you meet with Rebecca in the initial phase of starting the supervised visitations?
We spoke over the phone.
And did you have any general impressions of Rebecca when you spoke with her?
So Rebecca's actually the one that found me as a visitation agency. And so she called me asking if I provided that type of visitation, and asked if I had availability for her children with their father. And she kind of gave me a bit of the background for the importance of the supervised visitations.
How often, once John started, how often was he scheduled to get supervised visitation with you?
He would get every other weekend.
And what would happen on those weekends? What were the times that he got?
So his very first visit, we did an hour, and then they had an hour break, and then we did another hour. And then the very next day, he got a 3-hour visit with the children. So it was, the first one was like an hour, and then they were split just to see how the children would respond, since there had been some lapse in them seeing him.
And then, so the next day on Sunday, he would get how long?
He got 3 hours.
Okay. And that was every other weekend?
Yes.
Do you know where John was living at the time that the supervised visitation started?
He lived in Williston, North Dakota.
And how far is that from your facility?
Depending on the weather, 13 to 15 hours drive, one way.
And help remind me, did you say his visitation started, you think it was in May of 2019?
Yes.
And once he started getting his visitations, how regularly would he come? Was he coming every other weekend
Yes.
without
And-
fail?
Without fail. And he had inquired about being able to come more as well.
Were you able to do that?
I was not.
And why was that?
Rebecca had stated that the children were only available every other weekend, and that's where she wanted to start.
Would that have been acceptable to you to meet John's request if Rebecca had been okay with it?
Yes.
Did you personally, were you the primary person that was supervising John's visitations?
Yes.
And you took very thorough notes of what you observed, is that not correct?
Absolutely.
Tell us, in the weeks and the months after John started his visitation, what did you start observing about John and his interaction with his children?
I observed that he was a very loving father that really just wanted time with his kids. He engaged with them very well. He kind of took the kids' lead on what they wanted to play and what they wanted to do. Of course, he would always ask them first what it was they might want to do, and then go from there. He was very patient with them. As visits went on, they got to be pretty difficult, and John handled everything really well. Never once showing any frustration or anything. He just more handled it with love.
What were your thoughts? And you've testified about the experience you've had with other parents that have been alleged to have abused their children. What were your thoughts about John driving that far every other weekend to see his children?
My thoughts were, if a parent or somebody, I should say, was guilty of doing something like that, I'm not sure why they would spend the time or the money to make that trip every other weekend and request to have more time.
Just a guess.
And you hit on one,
Objection, speculation.
Judge, this is based on her experience in the field and what she observed.
Speculation, what are her qualifications?
I would request that I'm allowed to finish speaking before Ms. Brashier starts talking over.
Go ahead, I'll hear your argument.
Judge, this is what she does
Okay, fine.
daily and oversees parents all the time. I think she can give her opinion of what she observed.
I'll overrule the objection at this point.
You can go ahead. Or did we lose?
Will you repeat the
We
question,
lost
please?
track there. I'd asked you what your thoughts were about, well, you actually already answered the question. So I'll move on to something else. Did John cancel any visitations?
Not that I can remember.
Were there canceled visitations?
Yes.
Very many?
There were for sure 2 different weekends that were canceled.
And how
And
did,
the entire weekend. So he would have a visit one day and then a visit the next day. So the entire weekend had been canceled.
and what caused those cancellations?
So the very first weekend that had been canceled was due to Rebecca being out of town with the children. And then I didn't know, so visitation was supposed to start at 10 a.m. I didn't know until 9 a.m. Because so the day before, I always confirmed visits with both parties to make sure everybody was going to be there when they needed to be. Both parties confirmed that they would be there, and did not indicate any restrictions for that. At 9 a.m. the morning of the visit, I received a call that I missed, but I had a voicemail from James Brashier stating that the children would not be at visitation. Rebecca had been having vehicle issues. She was broke down in a remote area, and did not have cell service.
Did that seem odd to you that he said that?
It did.
Why?
If she didn't have cell service to call me, how was she able to find out that, or how was he able to find out she couldn't make it?
And that was less than an hour before John's visitation was to occur?
Yes,
Did you then call John?
yes.
And was he already
He
down
was, he was already local.
so he'd already driven the 13 hours?
Yeah.
So, do you know what he did that day? Did he talk to you at all or just go back?
He didn't come into my facility that day. I spoke with him on the phone, let him know that the kids weren't going to be able to make it. He said that he was going to stay in town because he asked me about Sunday's visit, and I told him I was not sure yet what was going to go on with that, if it was going to occur or not. So he said that he was going to stay local just in case.
So he was still hopeful he would get the visitation the next day.
Yes.
Did you try to reach out to Rebecca
Yes,
about
I
that? And what happened?
I did not get a response.
Did you, for the rest of the weekend, you didn't hear back from her?
I did not.
Did you ever get a reason why the Sunday visitation couldn't take place?
It was out of town, remote area.
You never got any other explanation other than that?
No.
You believe there was another cancellation of a visitation?
Yes.
When was that, approximately?
I want to say it was July or August of 2019.
And what happened?
I had been notified that the children are not going to be at the visitation due to, and this was, sorry, not 2019, it was July or August of 2020.
Okay.
I had been notified that they would not be there from an email from Rebecca's attorney, that they were practicing social distancing due to the CDC regulations, and that the children would not be at visitation.
So she canceled it because of COVID.
Yes.
Did your facility make any adjustments? That was kind of early in the COVID pandemic. Did your facility make any adjustments for people to be able to still have visitation with their children?
Yes, we provided gowns if people wanted to wear a gown to cover up, gloves, masks, plastic face shields. We had availability for hand washing whenever needed. We did have the availability for social distancing, even in the visitation room.
Did you advise Rebecca of that?
So I did not actually speak with Rebecca. It was her attorney that messaged me, and the whole conversation kind of went back and forth between her attorney and John's other attorney, Tom.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe you were copied on those emails.
Yes.
Did you ever make it known to either of those attorneys that you had the safety precautions you just told us about?
Yes. And Tom Jackson did express that in one of the emails to the attorney.
That was John Mast, other divorce attorney in North Dakota.
Yes.
Did you ever hear anything from Rebecca after that?
I did not.
Was John still willing to come to his supervised visitations in the summer of 2020?
Yes, he was.
And for how long did he go without visitation after it stopped because of COVID?
He went a fairly significant amount of time. I don't remember the exact length of time, but I do know we started doing electronic Zoom visits. So one of my requirements before a visit after the COVID was put into place and all the regulations there, I would do a COVID screening And so the day prior to the visit, I would screen the visiting parent and the children to see if there were any symptoms. I had a pretty lengthy questionnaire, I guess it was sent, and the parties would reply whether there were or were not symptoms. John had replied that he did not have symptoms, but it was replied that one of the kids, one or another of the kids would have symptoms, so we would have to do an electronic Zoom visit.
And did John do that?
Yes, he did.
Do you feel like with the precautions that you had in place that John could have continued to have supervised visitation with his children?
Absolutely.
And from what you observed or talked with him about, that's what he wanted to do.
Yes, it was.
He was ready and willing.
Yes.
My guess is that over that extended period of time, you had a lot of interaction with John and with Rebecca. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
What did you observe about John as far as being a father to his children during those visitations?
He was always happy to be there. He was always very grateful that there was an opportunity for him to see his children. When he was with them, it was playing with what they wanted to do, making sure that if they were hungry, we could go get lunch. And oftentimes we would go get lunch. He offered going to the parks for visitations. He engaged very well with them.
Did he follow any guidelines that you gave him regarding the visitations?
Yes,
Did you ever observe anything from him that you felt like was inappropriate?
I did not.
Did Rebecca ever discuss with you any concerns about John?
Yes, she did.
And what kind of things did she tell you?
She spoke on the allegations against him, on the can't figure out the word.
The sexual abuse allegations?
Yes, that. Sorry,
Did she just mention that to you one time, or was it ongoing?
it was ongoing.
Was she talking negatively about John other than that?
Just that she didn't trust him with the kids and that he needed to be watched very closely. And she would speak on how he wasn't allowed to do certain things because there were triggers for the kids. And so I needed to put a stop to these things if they did come up.
Can you give us an example of that?
So the trigger for Ashira was that having tea parties would trigger her and would cause her to become very upset. And for Zane, it was Spider-Man. Anything with Spider-Man.
Well, did John ever have a tea party with Ashira during a supervised visitation?
He did not have a tea party, but as I was saying, he let the children lead with what they wanted to do. It wasn't a tea party, but they would play restaurant and stuff a lot. I had this plastic play kitchen, and Ashira would be the waitress and the cook, and she would cook up whatever she had up her sleeve and serve it to him.
Was that meaningful to you?
I felt that it was.
Why is that?
Because playing restaurant wouldn't be much different than having tea parties. And to me, where she actively engaged herself on it, I didn't feel that it was a trigger at all. It was very fluid playing. It wasn't like scripted or like they had issues or anything.
And John was actively involved with Ashira doing that, from what you observed.
Yes.
Okay, what did you say the trigger, or what Rebecca had told you was the trigger for Zane?
Spider-Man.
Did you ever have any experiences with that while he was having visitation with Zane?
I did. One of Zane's favorite activities was a Marvel puzzle, and he put it together during almost every visit. And it does have Spider-Man on it as well.
Was that notable to you?
Yes,
Why?
because I did not see it trigger anything with him other than he would have fun putting it together and then take it apart and put it away.
From what Rebecca was continually telling you about John during these weeks and months, was what she was telling you correlating with what you were observing from John's behavior?
No.
What do you mean by that?
I did not see anything that was of concern with John, with the children. There were no inappropriate interactions. When he first started doing visits, when the children would come in, he'd say hi to them, greet them, ask them how they were doing. And he would listen to what they had to say. And then he would ask them, "May I have a hug?" And if the children said no, he did not pursue it. And in the beginning, the children were very willing to give him a hug. In fact, they were excited with smiles on their faces. You know, he wouldn't even always have to ask. They would just come give him a hug.
But then that eventually changed,
It did, significantly.
and their behavior towards him got worse.
It did.
What were your thoughts about that?
Those visitations were rough to watch. It was a lot of, "We don't have to hug you. My mom says I don't have to. And my mom says I can't sit on your lap. Or we don't have to call you dad. My mom says I don't have to. You're not our dad. You're John." They got pretty rough with him physically, hitting at him, kicking him, yelling at him. He had been spit at a time or two during visits.
What was his reaction?
He did not react. He would just tell them, "I understand. It's okay. I understand. And that's fine. If you don't want to give me a hug, that's okay." When they would refer to him as John, he never once corrected them. He just let it go.
At some point, did you mention something to John about the behavior of the children,
Yes, I did.
and that you didn't know how he could continue to do that?
I did, yeah.
And what was his response to you?
He just said it's not their fault. This is what they're being told. It's not their fault.
Did you believe that as well?
That's what the children were stating, yes.
Did you have any problems at all from John during the extended time that you did the supervised visitations?
I did not. He was very respectful, followed the guidelines. He didn't try to push any limits with anything.
Did Rebecca ever bring anyone else with her to the visitations?
Yes, she did, for pickup and drop off.
And who would accompany her?
Sometimes it would be James Brashier. Sometimes it would be James and Robin Brashier. Sometimes it would just be Robin.
And who is Robin?
That would be James Brashier's wife.
Rebecca's mother?
Yes.
I just asked you about any problems from John during all that time. Did you have any problems with the Brashiers during all of that time?
I did, yes.
What type of problems did you have?
I had a visitation where it was just James that brought the children. And the kids were kind of slowly walking in, like up towards my office, up the sidewalk, starting to get further and further away. I mean, it wasn't a super far distance, but they were slowly walking up. And it was reiterated to me that I needed to watch him closely, that man should never have any unsupervised time with those children. And
That James was saying this?
yes, James was saying this to me, and that if he ever got those children, he'd kill them.
He'd kill John?
Yes. He told me that he was serious, that he had this training in the military, that he knew what he was doing, and he would not allow him to have those kids.
Did you have any other problems with the Brashier family?
I had a situation where I was in the entry of my office, kind of backed in, not like aggressively, but kind of backed in, and was told about John's raising and upbringing and kind of the things that they do in the Amish community.
And who was saying that to you?
Robin Brashier.
Did you feel that was appropriate for her to do?
I didn't understand necessarily why she was telling me, other than to I guess, speak on John's character because of his upbringing.
You took it as she was trying to say something negative about John.
Yes,
Did you feel like all three of them did that
yes,
on a regular basis?
yes.
Did they seem to be together as one unit?
Yeah, because it was all the same sort of conversations that they were having with me about John and the allegations.
Do you remember where you were when you heard that John Mast had been killed?
Yes,
And somebody informed you?
yes. One of my previous employees who had supervised one or two of John's visits notified me.
And what were your immediate thoughts when you heard that?
I was immediately in shock. I had asked if there were any details, if they had known what had gone on. This person stated that there were no details released at that time, to her knowledge. And she had stated, that it occurred in the Rosars parking lot. And I said, immediately I said it was James. And she asked me why. And I said, due to a conversation we had early on in the case.
What were your feelings about that, hearing that John had been killed?
I felt that it was very unfortunate, very sad, unnecessary.
Did you feel like, from what you observed, that John was a good father to his children?
Absolutely.
Had you, in all of your experience, ever seen a parent go to the lengths that John did to see his children?
No, I have not. I have never experienced a parent pay for expensive and extensive I guess, procedures to prove his innocence.
May I have 1 second, Your Honor?
You may.
I'll pass the witness.
Thank you. Mr. Brashier, any cross-examination?
No, sir.
Oh, Ms.
No.
Ms. Brashier, mass cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many times have you talked to me directly?
At every pickup and drop off that you attended.
Do you supervise all visits?
Not all, no.
Do other staff supervise visits?
Yes, they did.
Approximately how many visits did you supervise?
Oh. I would say a good 80+%.
Where did John and his family park when they parked at the building?
John would park in the back of the building.
Are the front windows covered?
They were not.
Did one of your staff leave bruises on Ashira?
Not that I am aware of.
Were Ashira and Zane dysregulated at visits?
Towards the end, yes.
Did John Mast continue paying for visits and attending for 6 months before February 5th, 2021?
His visits were kind of sporadic at that point, due to the divorce and, the confusion in what he was allowed to have.
No, that is a yes or no question. Did John Mast discontinue paying for and attending his visits before February 5th, 2021?
Your Honor, the witness has already been asked that question and gave her answer.
I'll go ahead and overrule the objection. Ask your question again, and I'll have the witness answer that.
Did, was John Mast attending before February 5th, 2021, approximately 6 months before?
No,
Did John pay for those visits approximately 6 months before the visits ended, February 5th, 2021?
he paid for every visit that he attended.
Okay. Were those COVID modifications recommended for immune compromised or individuals with certain medical conditions?
Will you repeat that, please?
Were the COVID modifications recommended for immune compromised or individuals with certain medical conditions?
The precautions that I had in place were what was recommended by CDC.
Do you have Ashira and Zane's full medical history?
I do not.
So you cannot be certain it was fully recommended for Zane and Ashira Mast.
Not that was ever brought up to me.
You described the children as having great visits, correct?
Yes,
Then you described the visits as being difficult, correct?
correct.
Which is it?
The visits in the beginning, I want to say first several visits were good visits.
Is it typical for children to feel relaxed initially and then once they're at a visit later on to sometimes feel dysregulated?
Actually, in my experience, it's the opposite. Children, if they've had periods of time with not seeing the parent, they come in very reserved and hesitant to want to interact with the parent. And then as visits go on, they open up and become more comfortable.
Once again, do you know Ashira and Zane Mast's full medical history?
Only what you had shared with me.
I will leave it at that. Is it typical for a parent to discuss why they're requesting that the co-parent is receiving supervised visits?
Yes.
So why does this factor as a negative interaction with you?
It was brought up many times, not just in the first initial.
How many interactions did I have with you?
I don't remember the exact number.
What vehicle did I drive to every visit?
The Suburban, the blue Suburban. And actually there was I want to say there was I know there was a smaller SUV. I don't know the type of vehicle.
Okay, no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Hickey, any redirect?
Just briefly, Judge,
May-
thank you. The emails that you mentioned that you were observing between the attorneys, talking about the COVID problem, was there ever anything brought up about the children's medical?
No,
It was just strictly, COVID's going on, so we're not doing it.
correct.
Let's talk about parking. Did you ever have a concern with the way the Brashiers were parking at your facility?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I initially did not have curtains up in my front window that covered the entire windows. And they would pull up and park out in front of the windows. And once they would get there, visits were essentially over. Children were ready to go. They would, if they were playing with John peacefully, it became a, we don't want to play with you now, sort of thing.
Let me clarify that a little bit. So let's talk about on a Sunday. Would this happen on a Sunday sometimes?
Any of the visits.
Okay. So the Brashiers would bring the children and leave, correct?
Correct.
And you're saying they would show back up before the visitation was supposed to be over?
Correct.
Sometimes how early?
Sometimes over 30 minutes early.
And they would park right in front of the window so the children could see them.
Yes, and once I had noted that it was an issue, I did request that they park further down the street because of that. They apologized. They did park down further, but still within sight of the children.
And not where you had told them to park.
Correct.
Did you feel they were doing that intentionally?
It did feel that way, yes.
And so the children see mom arrive and they think, oh, it's time to go.
Yes.
You were asked about the time frame of February of 2021, 6 months back. Do you remember that? You were asked about that?
Yes.
Did you have conversations with John in December of 2020 about his visitation?
Yes, I did.
And did he tell you he was no longer going to do supervised visitation?
He did tell me that he was no longer going to do supervised visitations because they were no longer court ordered.
Because the order had finally come down from the judge
Yes.
and that he was getting unsupervised.
Yes.
So that's why he stopped in December of 2020.
Correct.
And you said he paid every bill with you and your company as far as for this visitation.
Yes, he paid every visit before the visit occurred. And he would come in early just to make sure that he had it paid.
That's all.
Thank you. Any recross from either Mr. Brashier or Ms. Brashier?
Definitely.
Not at this time.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Wiese, thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
And may this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, I'm looking at the time. Why don't we take our morning break? Why don't we reconvene in 15 minutes? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I've got to give you this one more time. Members of the jury, I remind you that you're not to discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else, nor to form any opinion as to the merits of the case until after I finally submit the case to you. Please rise for the jury. See you back in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. I totally forgot about that. Short break. I wasn't sure. I figured with all everybody out there, it's like, yeah. Oh, you couldn't miss too much.
Couple came over with friends, so it's this guy. She said, "Come here, sit down." He's sitting. I don't know that. I was just playing the part of the dog. I looked at me, we got a bunch of red. I thought the guy grabs her.
As if, hey, we talked.
Nothing. I love it. Or maybe it starts back.
Yeah, it starts back. Yeah. What the hell are you doing? Better than you are. What we told you we had that. I don't even know where it is. I'm gonna check the juice on this, to make sure it has enough power. So you're at 50%, so we might have to switch it as much. Checking out our podium. Mm-hmm.
Pretty basic.
There are wheels down there. I just don't think they touch the floor.
No, they don't.
Well, please turn your phone down or off. That's quite the law.
Thoughts?
Can you make sure your mic is on?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
We'll turn it on as soon as we start.
raised my voice.
I think you did a good job.
I think it's a good one. For sure. On next, please.
All right, let's go back on the record. This is Mast v. Brashier, CV 35-23-195. Parties are present with counsel. Mr. Brashier, Ms. Brashier, Mast are also present. We are outside the presence of the jury. Counsel, anything we need to take up before we bring the jury back?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Brashier, Ms. Brashier, Mast, anything we need to take up?
No, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Let's please rise for the jury. You can sit down. We're standing for you, so make yourself comfortable. Okay, please be seated. Thank you very much. Records will reflect that we are missing one. All right. Now the record will reflect that the jury appears to be returned and properly seated. Will the parties stipulate that the jury is returned and properly seated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Miller or Mr. Hickey, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Plaintiff's called Detective Tyler Crane.
Okay. All right, Detective Crane, if you face my clerk and be sworn.
Do you affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Detective, if you'll take a seat. Make yourself comfortable. I'm used to saying pull the microphone close, but we have a new sound system in here. So what I'm going to have you do, because we have been having some audio issues in here, we have you speak clearly and loudly. So to that end, if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Yes, Tyler Crane, last is spelled C-R-A-N-E.
All right. Anybody having difficulties hearing Detective Crane? Okay, Mr. Miller, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have to use our courtroom voices in here
Okay.
to talk to the detective. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble with audio, but appreciate you being here. First off the bat, and I'm sorry, did the court have you spell your name?
Yes.
All right, okay, I missed that. Why are you here today?
I was asked to be here to talk about an investigation that I was involved in and conducted.
What investigation was that?
It was a homicide investigation in 2021.
Can you give us more details about that?
Yeah, it was, it occurred at Rosars, and so I was called at home. It was after regular working hours and just asked to respond to the Lewiston Police Department. I didn't have a lot of information initially, and then was kind of briefed once I got to the police department. And then I interviewed, shortly after arriving at the police department, interviewed James Brashier at the police department. He had been taken there by a patrol officer.
All right, so we'll come back to that in a few minutes. So, but it was a homicide investigation involving James Brashier.
Correct.
And did you give us the date of that?
I did not. I said in 2021. I think it was February 5th
Okay.
of 2021.
All right, thanks. We'll come back to that in just a minute. First, I want to have the jury get to know you just a little bit. Where do you live at?
I live here in Lewiston.
And how long have you lived here?
20 years, right about 20 years.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a detective with the Lewiston Police Department.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
11 years yesterday.
Congrats. All right. And has that all been with the Lewiston Police Department, or?
Yes, it has.
Okay. How long have you been a detective?
A total of about 7 years.
What is your education background?
Graduated high school and just a couple years of college. And then, like I said, a lot of on-the-job education as well.
Very much, I imagine. Where did you do your college years?
Here at LCSC.
Is it Lewis and Clark?
Yes.
So, yeah, let's talk about the on-the-job education training. What kind of law enforcement training have you had?
So the Post Academy or Police Academy, which was 10 weeks when I attended it, is now longer. And then there's been extensive ongoing training, interview and interrogation, crime scene reconstruction, like major crash investigation, child forensic interview training, some financial crime training, and lots of different things. It's ongoing every year.
Do you take regular or ongoing classes for that kind of training, or how do you get that kind of training?
So we put in or apply for training that's kind of applicable to our current assignments or duties, or supervisors will come up with ideas as well and seek those things out. And if approved, I think it gets expensive, but if approved, we get to go.
But I mean, this isn't just stuff that you acquire, training or knowledge that you acquire just day to day on the job. These are classes or seminars or things you go to?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've attended for those things that you described?
Yes.
Okay. Do you hold any, well, let's back up here. Tell the jury just a little bit about what POST is, or what's entailed. What did you learn there?
It covers just about everything geared towards police patrol work. So that includes traffic enforcement, DUI enforcement, and kind of some basic investigative things, domestic violence, some evidence packaging, and photography. And so it just kind of touches on just about everything that you do, as a new patrol officer.
Okay. Now, you've had advanced training, some of that you described a minute ago. Do you hold any specific certifications or licenses or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have my Idaho Post Intermediate certification.
What is that?
So it's a combination. I don't know the exact numbers. So when you complete the Idaho Post Academy, you get a basic certification, and then a combination of years of experience combined with college education, and ongoing training hours. So it goes from your basic to intermediate to advanced, and then I want to say a supervisory certification after that.
And you hold the post intermediate certification.
Intermediate.
Very good. Now, you've had some additional training and experience in as much as you're a detective, correct? That's, I don't know how to put this, so you correct me. Is that higher than a patrolman? Is that fair?
It's different. I wouldn't say, so with Lewiston Police Department, it's not a promotion, it's an assignment. But it's a much different job day to day.
Does it require more training and experience though to get to that point?
Yes, it does.
Let's jump ahead here to the homicide investigation you were talking about initially. On February 5 of 2021, were you a detective with the Lewiston Police Department?
Yes, I was.
So do you remember the events of that day?
Not so much the day. I remember the events from when I got called to respond back to work. It
Fair
was
enough.
pretty uneventful until then.
And that's what we'll focus on, so that's fair. So to be clear for the record, are you aware, did you become aware of a shooting and killing that occurred at the Lewiston Rosars parking lot that day or that evening?
Yes.
Were you involved in the investigation of that shooting and killing?
Yes, I was.
How were you involved?
I was assigned as the case agent on that case.
What does that mean, case agent?
Well, there's so many things that go into a homicide investigation, but as the case agent, I was responsible for making sure that every task was completed, and sometimes that's delegating tasks to other detectives, asking, for help, and ultimately reviewing everything to make sure that it got done and things weren't missed, and ultimately preparing, putting the entire investigation together to forward to the prosecutor and communicate with them.
Detective, you sound like you're being modest. It sounds like you were in charge.
Sure.
Objection, expert witness.
And overrule the objection.
Thank you, Judge. Sounds like you were in charge of the investigation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I had a question here. You might have answered this. Were you the lead detective or investigator then?
Yes.
Okay, same thing. What kinds of things then did you do or make sure got done as part of that investigation generally?
So I interviewed both James and Rebecca, and then I seized Mr. Brashier's cell phone and applied for a search warrant on that cell phone. And during the process of talking to Rebecca, she allowed us to do a download of her cell phone as well. I wrote search warrant for an email account, canvassed several areas and, where Rebecca's apartment complex, reviewed video from Rosars, made sure that was gotten, and witnesses that were on scene there, made sure they were interviewed, just trying to get every bit of information related to the case that we could.
Did you go to the scene even?
Not that night, I did not.
No. At some point?
Yes.
Okay. Was that part of the investigation?
It was, and things like driving from Rebecca's apartment to Rosars, just to see time-wise and distance and those sort of things.
Okay. And you said you took custody of Jim's and Rebecca's cell phones that night?
Yes.
And you had, as part of the investigation, you either did or delegated the assignment to have the contents of those phones downloaded?
That's correct.
And to your understanding, as part of the leading this investigation, then after those contents were downloaded, were you able to see calls and messages that were made from those phones the day before and the day of the killing?
Yes, I was.
Okay, you mentioned that you interviewed James Brashier that evening, correct?
Yes.
So we're going to talk more about that in just a minute, but I kind of as a preview, I guess, where did that interview happen?
It was in interview room number 2 in the investigation section at the police department.
At the police station?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're going to come back to that in just a minute. Before we get to the interview of James Brashier, and before James was taken to the police station, did he speak with any other police officers or detectives to your knowledge?
Yes, he did.
Who did he speak with?
Officer Joey Lyons.
Officer Lyons? Okay.
Yes.
Where did that conversation occur?
In the Rosars parking lot, and James Brashier was seated in the back of a patrol unit. I believe it was Officer Lyons, but in the back of a police car in the parking lot of Rosars.
Okay. Do you know when that conversation occurred?
Yes, it was, I think it was 7 minutes after the call came out, after the 911 call.
Do you know who made the 911 call?
I know that Betty Troyer made one of the calls, and I think there was multiple calls made.
From the parking lot?
From the
probably?
parking lot, yeah.
Okay. So James spoke with Officer Lyons within just minutes after the 911 call.
Yes.
And I'm assuming seems pretty obvious, but those 911 calls went out immediately after the shooting and killing.
Yes.
Okay. So this first conversation happened just immediately after
That's correct.
the incident. Okay. To your understanding, did James make any admissions about the murder in that conversation?
Yes.
What did he say?
Objection, speculation?
Overruled.
He told Officer Lyons that it was premeditated.
Did he use that word?
Yes, he did.
James Brashier used that word.
Yes, he did.
Was he prompted to use that word?
No.
That was unprompted from him.
Yes,
He told Officer Lyons it was premeditated.
that's correct.
What else did he say?
He told Officer Lyons that he weighed out the cost of killing him before he did it.
This interview with Officer Lyons, or this conversation, was this videotaped?
Yes.
How was that done?
So we wear body cameras, Axon body cameras, and then the fleet vehicles are also equipped with multiple in-car Axon cameras.
And this particular conversation was recorded on Officer Lyons' body cam then?
Yes.
Okay. And so were you able to review that video before you got to court?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're talking about these things, these are things that you witnessed James say on the video.
Correct.
You weren't there in person.
Nope.
Okay, but you saw it on the video. You said that James said he weighed out the cost. Were you able to tell what that meant?
Just that it was a conscious decision, and there was some thought beforehand.
Thank you. What else did he say to Officer Lyons?
He said that he knew he was going to go to jail. And he also made a remark that he hoped he didn't do all of this just to wound him.
Really?
Yes.
Did he say anything about when he got there and what he did when he got there?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
He said that he got there and waited for Mr. Mast to show up, and that he walked over to him with a gun behind his back.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
So he told Officer Lyons he got to the parking lot and waited for John.
Yes.
So he laid in wait for John to show up.
That was what it sounded like to me, yes.
Detective, Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Thank you. I'm handing you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 8. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes.
What is that?
That is a thumb drive containing the body cam recording from Officer Lyons.
How do you recognize that?
I viewed it yesterday and it's labeled P'(S) Exhibit 8.
And who showed that to you yesterday?
You.
And does that thumb drive appear to be the same thumb drive in the same condition as I showed it to you yesterday?
Yes, it does.
Were you able to open up that thumb drive and review the contents?
Yes, I was.
And you stated the contents on that flash drive are the video of Officer Lyons' interview with Jim Brashier.
That's correct.
Okay.
Objection, we've had no chance to view such document.
It hasn't been asked to be admitted just yet, so I'm going to overrule that objection at this point, but counsel, it sounds to me like defendants haven't had an opportunity to see the video.
Judge, perhaps if we need to, if you'd like to do that now, we might want to go off the record and excuse the jury to talk about that.
Why don't we go ahead and do that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take up a quick matter. I'm going to excuse you to the jury room to be comfortable. I'm going to read you this one more time. Members of the jury, I remind you that you are not to discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else, nor to form any opinion as to the merits of the case until after I finally submit the case to you. With that, please rise for the jury. We'll be right with you as soon as we can. Okay, go ahead and be seated. Thank you, everybody. All right. Let's take up the issue of defendants not having viewed this exhibit at this point. Mr. Miller, what would you like to do on that?
Thank you, Ron. Well, I don't know what we do about it, except, Judge, I can inform the court, as I did yesterday before we started trial, that when we mailed hard copies of all of our exhibits to the court, we mailed hard copies to each of the defendants at the same time, including thumb drives of these videos. They were included, I know the court received them, and we included them in packets to each of the defendants. I know because I made them myself and sent them out in the mail. So I know that they were mailed to them. Whether or not they chose to review them, I don't know. But
and I'm assuming this is a video that was displayed at the criminal trial?
yes, it was.
Okay.
To my understanding. Actually, I wasn't there, Judge. I know that a video of Jim Brashier at the police station, I think, was played. I don't know if the video of Officer Lyons.
At least a portion of it was.
Okay. I recall seeing it at trial.
Okay.
And so I'm assuming this is the video of Mr. Brashier in the back of the patrol car at the scene.
Correct.
I do recall that being shown. So I know Mr. Brashier has seen it. I don't know.
Well, I know that my understanding, Ms. Brashier was attended the trial as well.
Your Honor, I was in attendance at the trial, so if that's the video, then I have viewed it.
Okay.
Trial.
I just want to make sure we're talking about
Yes.
Oh,
the
yes.
same thing.
Same thing, yes.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr.
I'm a
Brashier,
little bit confused, so may I ask respectfully a question?
you may.
Is this trial about me killing John? Is this trial about whether he did the abuse or not? Or is this trial whether we caused trauma? And who did it? What is this trial for?
So the purpose of the trial is laid out in the complaint that you've received and been served. And so those are the issues that we're talking about. I don't know that I can answer any further
What does
than
this
that.
have to do with the trauma?
Well.
We're rehashing.
So, Mr. Brashier, if you've got a specific objection to this evidence, then make the objection and I'll rule on the objection.
All right, Your Honor, I object under the basis that it doesn't pertain to the trial.
And I'm going to overrule that objection. So thank you. Mr. Miller, how would you like to proceed at this point?
Well, I'm happy to. I'm laying foundation so we can admit this exhibit. I can finish that up in just a moment. I'm concerned, Judge, that Ms. Brashier has made some kind of insinuation in front of the jury that this was not provided to them. when it certainly was. And I don't know if we need some kind of corrective instruction to the jury or not. I would like one.
I never received this in the mail.
Neither did I.
I haven't received any of the exhibits in the mail.
Nor did
Well, I provided exhibits yesterday.
Oh, but I didn't get the jump drive.
Okay. Is there another video that we were going to
Yes,
potentially be viewing? And is that the video with Detective Crane in the police station, which I know that we also watched?
correct.
Is that
Yes.
Exhibit 9?
That's correct.
Okay. So, Mr. Brashier, Ms. Brashier Mast, that is coming.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the representation that's going to be made to the court is that is the same video that was shown in the criminal trial.
And
did.
I have seen
Okay.
that.
And I know Mr. Brashier has seen that because he was present at his criminal
Yes.
trial.
I just told him that.
So,
It's
again,
identical.
what I want to do is I want to avoid any allegation or any suggestion that there's some sort of unfair surprise by this.
Yes.
And so, if what Mr. Miller, you were telling me is that there's nothing else on those videos other than what was already presented and submitted, I believe it was all submitted as evidence in the criminal trial as well,
That was my understanding.
then I'm satisfied that Mr. Brashier has seen that through counsel, probably extensively in preparation for the criminal trial. Ms. Brashier Mast was present at trial, and I think you represented to me that you've seen those as well.
I have seen them at the criminal trial, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I can assure the court, Judge, that each one of these flash drives contains only that video that we're talking about, nothing else on the flash drive, and it is the entire video on the flash drive.
All right. Then I'm going to accept that answer. I'm going to accept your response that you've seen that at trial.
I have.
And so I am going to ask you not to alert the jury that you haven't received that copy because now we've established that you've seen it. So,
Okay.
all right.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I want to be respectful to everybody, but I want to make sure that it's going smooth as well. So anything else that we need to take up before we bring the jury back?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's return the jury and then we'll get going. All right, thank you, everybody. Please be seated. We are, again, continue to be on the record in CV 35-23-195, Mast v. Brashier. The jury is back. They appear to be properly seated. Will the parties stipulate that the jury is back and appropriately seated?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. All right. Mr. Miller, you may continue to inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. Detective, this flash drive that you're holding up there, does that contain an accurate copy of the video of Officer Lyons' interview of Mr. Brashier at the Rose Arts parking lot that day?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, we would move for admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 8.
Mr. Brashier, Ms. Brashier Mast, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
So Exhibit 8 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll reserve publication of that for later in the trial, if that's all right. Detective, again, I don't mean to rehash this, but you've testified a couple of times that you interviewed James Brashier, correct?
Yes,
And that was at the Lewiston Police Station.
correct.
Did you also video record and audio record that interview?
Yes, I did.
Okay, come back to that in just a minute. Did you also, as part of your investigation, interview Rebecca Brashier Mast?
Yes, I did.
When did that occur?
Simultaneously. So I exited the interview room that James was in and talked to Rebecca in interview room number 1, which is just right down the hall between the lobby of the police department and the investigation section.
When did those interviews occur?
I began interviewing James first, and that was almost exactly an hour after the 911 call came out. So it was about 7, I think the recording started at 7 p.m. that
Okay.
evening.
But just about an hour. And you interviewed Mr. Brashier for a little bit, then you went and interviewed Ms. Brashier for a little bit,
That's correct.
and then did you go back and interview Mr. Brashier again?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's how they were happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you also video and audio record your interview of Rebecca Brashier Mast?
Yes.
How long did your interview last with James Brashier?
Approximately an hour and 45 minutes. But some of that time I was not in the interview room talking to him. I was talking to Becky and other detectives.
Okay. We've just established that they were audio and video recorded. Why did you record them that way, these interviews?
We always do. It's in Lewiston Police Department's policy, but also just so that I could go back and review them and write accurate reports, see body language and different things like that. It's just the most thorough way to conduct an investigation.
Thorough way to investigate.
Yeah.
And ensures accuracy.
Yes.
Very good. Your Honor, may I approach again?
You may.
Thank you.
Handing you what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 9. You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is a flash drive containing the Axon interview recording of my interview with James Brashier.
The interview that we've just talked about that occurred about an hour after the 911 call
That's correct.
and occurred at the Lewiston Police Station.
Yes.
So how do you recognize that?
I previewed it yesterday.
Okay. And
It's marked P''S exhibit 9.
does it look the same as it was presented to you yesterday?
Yes,
Did you review the contents yesterday?
I did.
Okay. So to your understanding, having reviewed that, is that an accurate copy of the video of your interview with Mr. Brashier at the station?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Your Honor, we'd move for or admission of exhibit 9.
Mr. Brashier, Ms. Brashier, Mast, any objection to admission of exhibit 9?
objection.
All right, so exhibit 9 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor, and we'll reserve publication on that as well. Okay, I want to delve into specifics about your interview with Mr. Brashier, James Brashier, that evening. Prior to interviewing him, did you read and inform him of his Miranda rights?
Yes, I did.
Could you please explain to the jury what those Miranda rights are?
Yes, so would you like me to just advise them so they can hear exactly
Sure.
what they are?
Please advise the jury, yes.
So I told them you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one would be appointed for you. And if he were to answer any questions or make any statements, he could stop at any time until an attorney is present. He just needed to let me know.
Why did you advise Mr. Brashier of those Miranda rights before interviewing him?
Well, he was in custody. It was a custodial interview. It never became an interrogation. It's just an interview, but he was in custody, had been transported in the back of a police car down to the Lewiston Police Department where there was a lot of law enforcement personnel around and a lot going on.
Okay. These Miranda rights, I think a lot of us are familiar with them, but can a person, if they choose, waive those rights and choose to speak with you?
Yes.
Did James Brashier waive his right to remain silent and agree to speak with you?
Yes, he did.
Are you, Detective, a psychiatrist?
No.
Are you a psychologist?
No.
Do you have any such training at all?
No, I do not.
Are you an expert in reading people's minds?
No, I am not.
Now, despite those deficiencies in your education and training, right, do you have any training and experience with reading people's body language and behaviors?
Yes, definitely.
Where does that experience come from?
Well, the experience is lots of things. I have kids, for one. Also, but also, in law enforcement, I have had some training in reading body language and things like establishing a baseline, because I had never met James Brashier before that night. But it kind of establishing a baseline, looking for variations or changes in body language and habits. And then, I mean, I've interviewed countless people, whether witnesses, victims, or suspects, over the course of 11 years. And people aren't always honest with us. And there are different tendencies you pick up that you see consistent with deception, with honesty, transparency, and all of those.
So is it fair to say that reading people, reading their body language, reading tone of voice, all those kinds of things is part of your job?
Absolutely.
You said you've had a lot of experience in interviewing suspects, witnesses, so forth. Have you had any specific training in interviewing or interrogating?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of training have you had?
Read, interview, and interrogation technique, forensic, experiential, trauma-informed interviewing, child forensic interviewing, and I think those are the majority of the formal, I guess, more complex trainings when it comes to interview and interrogation.
Did all of that help, or does it help you read people and how they might be feeling as you're interviewing them?
Yeah.
Okay. So with all of that as background and context, what was James Brashier's demeanor during your interview with him?
He was very calm, very direct, very just to the point and articulate.
Articulate.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't really have to ask any questions. I mean, I didn't. He just talked.
Okay. Did he appear to you during that interview to be agitated?
No.
Did he appear to be anxious?
No.
Did he appear incoherent in any way or unable to understand you?
No.
He was able to understand all of your questions?
There were very few questions. Yeah, the majority of the time I was listening.
The questions that you did ask, maybe not very many, but was he able to understand them?
Yes.
Did his answers to those questions seem to follow and make sense?
Yes.
Did he appear, I'll put this in air quotes, out of it?
No.
Did he appear to have any trouble with his memory?
No.
Did Mr. Brashier talk much in the interview?
Yeah, he talked quite a bit.
He said a number of incriminating things, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Was that surprising to you?
It was.
Why?
Well, again, I frequently, when interviewing a suspect, don't just there's not a ton of information that's usually just volunteered with a simple prompt like, tell me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was surprising to me just how freely he spoke and just kind of narrated the entire day and the events.
Including shooting John Mast.
That's correct.
Did he appear to have any remorse at all about killing John Mast?
No.
Did he appear to have any remorse whatsoever about the decision that he had made to go to the parking lot and kill him?
No.
So you mentioned this briefly, that he the events of the day, correct?
Yes,
In the interview and things that led up to the incident in the parking lot, correct?
yes.
In explaining those events, did he say anything specifically about making a decision to kill John?
Yes, he did.
What did he tell you?
He told me he decided when he got to Rebecca's apartment that he decided he was going to kill John.
So let's walk back a little bit, and maybe we should have you explain what he told you about the events of the day. So if you could run through quickly his description of the events of the day leading up to the parking lot.
Yes, so that he drove down, I believe, dropped his wife off at work, drove to Lewiston, and met with Rebecca. And during that time, Rebecca received a phone call, I think, from her attorney about an unsupervised visitation that was going to occur with her children and their father, John, starting that night at 5, or I think 6 o'clock that night. Then throughout the rest of the day, they took a number of steps to prevent that from happening, contacting an attorney and coming to the courthouse to try to get a protection order of sorts, I believe going to CPS and trying to stop that from happening.
Were they successful?
No.
What happened then?
They then went back to Rebecca's apartment to pack up the children's things to go exchange them with John at the Rosar's parking lot.
Do you know about what time it was that he told you it was when they went back to her apartment?
It was sometime after 5 p.m. that night, so within an hour of when the exchange was supposed to happen.
Okay, sometime between 5 and 6.
Yes.
Okay. And so after making these attempts to stop that visitation and being unsuccessful, leaving the courthouse, they went back to her apartment, he told you, and to get the things ready for the kids. And he told you that's when he decided he was going to kill John.
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't after he saw John in the parking lot.
No.
It wasn't after he arrived at the parking lot and sat there for a minute.
No.
It wasn't on the way to the parking lot.
No.
It was before he left Rebecca's house, or apartment.
That's correct.
Did he tell you anything in that interview about saying anything to his daughter Rebecca the day of the murder, alluding to his desire or decision to kill John?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said that he was sure, something to the effect of he was sure, he said it during the day, well, I'm just going to kill him, or I could just kill him, as they were going through the process of trying to stop the visitation and talking about it.
Did you ask him specifically anything about when the last time was that he said something to Rebecca about killing John?
Yes, I did ask. I asked him that. I asked him, when was the last time you said something like that to her?
Something about killing John?
Yes.
And what did he say?
Probably today.
Did he say anything else in the interview to you that alluded to him saying something to Rebecca about killing John?
Yes, he said he's probably said it 100 times.
Did he tell you anything about making any promise to Rebecca that day?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said he promised her that the kids would never have to go back to their dad, or wouldn't go back with their dad, especially unsupervised.
Now, I want to be really clear for the record here. These statements that you're describing, these are things that James told you in the interview, correct?
Yes.
And things that James said he told Rebecca that day, correct?
Yes.
So he told you that he promised Rebecca that John would never get the kids.
That's correct.
He didn't tell you that he promised the kids. He told you he promised Rebecca.
That is correct.
And again, to clarify, you asked him, when was the last time you said anything to Rebecca about killing John, correct?
Yes,
And he said, probably today.
yes,
You didn't ask him when was the last time you said anything to anybody about killing John, right?
correct.
Your question specifically was, when was the last time you said something to Rebecca?
I believe it was, when was the last time you said something like that? And he said, probably today.
And I believe it was, having seen the video, your question was about Rebecca, correct?
Correct.
Let me ask you this. As part of your investigation at that point in interviewing Mr. Brashier, did you have any concern that Rebecca might have been involved?
Yes,
Okay. Were you investigating that?
I was.
Was that maybe, did that have anything to do with the motivation for your question?
Yes, yes.
Good. Did James Brashier, say anything about having had any thoughts about killing John in the past?
Yes.
What did he say?
He's said several times in the context of around their family that, I'll just kill the bugger or something like that, and would make kind of off the cuff comments like that a number of times over the years.
In the presence of his family?
Correct.
How often did he tell you that he had thought about killing John?
He said probably 100 times.
Now, did he tell you any specifics, any details about, so after he's made this decision at the apartment, any details about what he did then to carry this out?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said he drove he switched vehicles because he had drove down in his wife's vehicle from Winchester.
Do you know what vehicle that was?
It was I want to say, I never saw it. It was an SUV of some sorts, a newer late model SUV, a Kia or a Hyundai, I believe.
Was it possibly a white Kia?
Yeah,
Okay.
could have been.
So he told you that's what he drove down from Winchester that day?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened? Or then what did he tell you?
So when he left the apartment, that he switched the firearm, the pistol that was in the center console of his wife's SUV that he drove down, sat it on the passenger seat of the Suburban that belonged to him, but that Rebecca drove as her daily driver, set it on the passenger seat, and drove to the Rosars parking lot.
So he told you he switched cars with Rebecca?
Yes.
And he told you that he moved his gun, his pistol, from his wife's car to the Suburban?
Yes.
Did he tell you anything about the timing of his departure from the apartment in relation to Rebecca?
He left before her, and she was still getting things ready for the kids.
Okay. And you said that as part of your investigation, you drove these distances for timing purposes. About how far is it from where Rebecca was living at the time to Rosars?
I just remember the time lapse. I don't know the exact distance, but I would estimate that it's definitely under a mile. I estimate it's maybe a half a mile.
Okay. How long did it take you to drive it?
It was under 3 minutes, I would say 2 minutes and 50 some seconds or something like that. Driving the speed limit.
Of course. What did Jim tell you that he did after then moving the gun and switching cars and leaving? And then what happened?
He said he parked in the parking lot by the library book drop box and sat and waited for John.
Then what did he tell you he did after that?
He said that he was unsure if it was John at first, and I think he told me that he recognized Betty before John, and that he grabbed the gun, held it behind his back, and walked over to where John was moving car seats around.
Did that he hid the gun behind his back?
Yes.
What did, if anything, what did James Brashier tell you that John was doing when James approached John?
Yeah, I think he said messing with car seats, but it sounded like he was securing car seats for the kids.
To your understanding, and of course, knowing that you weren't there for all of this, but to your understanding from your investigation, when James Brashier approached John, was John harming or threatening to harm James?
No,
Was John threatening or harming anyone?
no,
Was John yelling or screaming at anyone?
no,
Was he yelling or screaming at James, to your knowledge?
no.
To your understanding, when James Brashier approached John, and we've heard testimony already from people who were there, that he approached John and almost immediately opened fire. To your understanding, when that happened, were the kids there yet? Were John Mast's kids there in the parking lot yet?
No.
Harming or threatening or arguing with Rebecca either?
No.
And John was not harming or threatening to harm the kids?
No.
All right, so you talked about, as part of your interview, that Mr. Brashier told you he approached John with the gun behind his back, correct?
Yes.
And then what did he tell you happened?
I think, well, he told me, he said, "Hey, John," to get his attention, which led me to believe that John didn't even know he was there. He said after that, he just walked back over to the Suburban that he drove there, and I believe he told me he took the magazine out of the pistol and the round out of the chamber, I think is what he told me, and just set him on the hood and put his hands up and waited for the police.
Okay. Did he tell you about doing anything specific after that point as he's waiting there at his Suburban?
Yeah, he said, he told me that he called his wife Robin and said, "It's done."
Did he say that he called her, texted her? Do you recall?
I think that he said he called her.
Okay. But the message to, you said his wife, Robin?
Correct.
He said the message to his wife was, "It's done."
Yes.
What did that mean to you at the time when you heard him say that in the interview?
Well, it led me to believe that she was aware there was a plan to do it, to kill John.
Okay. What does it mean to you now, if anything?
Objection, speculation.
I will sustain that objection.
You attended Jim's first-degree murder trial, correct?
That's correct.
Do you recall hearing Jim testify on his direct exam, on examination of his lawyer, Mr. Bugby? Do you recall hearing Jim say that he was known as the fix-it man?
Yes.
Do you recall hearing him say anything else about that at trial?
Yeah, I don't remember specifically. He talked quite a bit about painting the picture of how everybody comes to him to solve problems, and that he kind of feels responsible, in that air quote Papa Bear sense as well. There was quite a bit of talk about that.
Do you recall him saying something to the effect of, "You got a problem, I fix it"?
Yes.
So we talked about this a few minutes ago, that prior to relating to you the events of the killing itself in the parking lot, James also told you about the events of the day. We talked about this driving down from Winchester, running around Lewiston. Was his demeanor any different when he was describing the killing as when he was describing the rest of his day?
No.
Did he say anything specifically to you about how he felt about killing John?
While I was interviewing him, I wasn't aware John had passed yet. I didn't even know. I thought he was fighting for his life at the hospital. And James said, I hope he's dead. I hope he does die. Otherwise this wouldn't be worth it, or something along those lines, prior to me even knowing that John had passed.
Did he tell you in your interview anything that indicated he knew what he did was wrong?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said that he knew he was going to do time for this. He said at one point towards the end of the interview, he made a remark. He said, go ahead and take me to jail or execute me or do whatever you do to people like me. There's probably no good reason for killing somebody.
That's all I have. Thank you, Detective.
Thank you. Mr. Brashier, any cross-examination?
No, thank you.
Ms. Brashier, Mast, any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may inquire.
My first question is, did I cooperate with the investigation?
Yes.
Have I been at, did you perform that interview on myself?
Just some of it. I believe you were talking to Detective Thomas as well.
Have I been arrested at any point in the relation to the shooting of John Mast?
No.
Is James Brashier a convicted felon?
Yes.
Yes. Did John kill John Mast? Did James Brashier kill John Mast?
Yes.
Are you aware I deny that James Brashier ever made the statement that I would never have to see John Mast again?
Can you ask that again?
Are you aware I deny that James Brashier ever made the statement that I would never have to see John Mast again?
Yeah, I'm not aware that he ever said that to you.
Okay. Is there any concrete evidence I participated in the killing of John Mast?
No.
No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, any redirect?
Actually, no, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Detective.
Would you like?
Actually, try to have those since they'll get admitted. All right. Mr. Miller, you may call your next witness, or Mr. Hickey, whomever.
She's here. Your Honor, could we have sidebar?
You may. What was step up here for a second? Okay. And then, Mr. Brashier, you're welcome to come as well. All right. I just want to make sure. We'll go back on the record. All right, we are back on the record in Mast versus Brashier, CV 35-23-195. Plaintiffs and counsel are present. Mr. Brashier and Ms. Brashier Mast are present. We had a small sidebar really to discuss timing of the next witness. The next witness may be a little lengthy, so I think what we'll do is we're going to take our noon recess now. I don't want you to get hungry. It's really what it comes down to. There's not a selfish motivation for me either in there, but nevertheless, we're going to take our noon recess now, and we'll reconvene at 12:30. So we'll take an hour, we'll reconvene at 12:30, and we'll continue with the plaintiff's case. All right, so before we do that, I'm going to read you this instruction again. Members of the jury, I'll remind you that you're not to discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else, nor to form any opinion as to the merits of the case until after I finally submit the case to you. With that, have a good lunch, and we'll see you back in an hour. Please rise for the jury.
Hang it.
Yes. She's. She takes it. Yeah, I'm talking. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Judge.